Hello my loves, welcome back for another video. I am doing a huge giveaway at the end of the month for Hailey. I feel like it's the perfect time to do it. It is literally the giving season. All you guys need to do is subscribe to the channel, and I know when you do, it lets me know. Also to comment and engage with each Hailey video. Comment anything that you want. I will just be able to know that you are a part of the giveaway just by your comment alone. And I'm gonna pick someone at the end of the month. I'm gonna put a whole playlist together for Hailey so you guys can keep up. And I know it's gonna take you guys some time to watch because you're busy. So I'm gonna pick the winner probably between December 25th and January 1st. But good luck to everyone. I love you all. And yeah, happy Hailey. I told you guys I had some surprises for you for Hailey. In today's video, we are going to be talking about stepping into your classy era in your 20s, more specifically for beginners and people who have not really tapped into their classy side yet. And today's video has a very special guest on today. You guys all know her from TikTok, and she also has a YouTube channel, Jaz Turner. First and foremost, I absolutely adore her content. She is giving a luxury girl in her 20s, really living her best life, and honestly, she just reminds me so much of myself. So there was no better person to bring on today than her to really discuss today's topic. This video is specifically for all of my modern women that are kind of moving with the times, who want to step into their classy era that is more tailored to them. This is a modern channel here, okay? I am so big on moving with the times and understanding that not everything has one aesthetic. And I want to help you guys if you are just a regular girl like me and you want to step into your classy era. And it has a lot to do with things like how you speak and your attitude, what you wear, how you take care of yourself. And it's not just about being old money rich, looking a certain way, having a certain body type. We all can really step into this and look a lot classier than we do right now. I have seriously struggled with being classy throughout the years. It honestly was never at the forefront of my mind, if I'm being honest with you guys. I always said to myself that I am different and I chose a creative path for a career. So I was actually very happy that I didn't have to wear work pants and blazers and turtlenecks every day, because I liked expression through clothing that was a little bit more sexy, revealing, and out there. But as I get older, I am learning and understanding the importance of modesty in certain occasions and really just dressing for my body type. As I slim out, as I level up, and as I start to become more me and the more adult version of myself, I am starting to see how beautiful simplicity can actually be. I looked a hot mess at one point in my life, and I wasn't carrying myself a certain way. And as I become a little bit more well-versed in these topics, I find that it is important to nurture this. And it really allows you to rest in your feminine, be super beautiful and divine and elegant, and really just find the beauty in the simple, classy things in life. So if you guys like these topics, of course, give this video a big thumbs up, and please go and follow Jaz right now. She is absolutely incredible, and I know you guys will love her if you don't know her already. But yeah, let's just get into the video and follow me on Instagram. All right, let's get into it.
Hey y'all, my name is Jaz. I create a lot of content on how to glow up, how to become your best self. So if that sounds like your content, don't forget to follow me. And a big shout out to my girl, Hailey. I am so honored and grateful and excited to talk about this topic today. Okay, so I would say in 2023, I definitely have entered my classy, feminine, soft life woman era. And I noticed this because I started to really analyze my interactions, whether it be one-on-one or whether I walked into a room. I felt like I was magnetic. I felt like people were drawn to me. I felt like when I talked one-on-one to people, people were like hanging on every single last word of mine. And I was wondering what was like different about me. I'd been on my glow up journey trying to reinvent myself. You know, I was trying to elevate myself, everything from the physical to the internal, like really enter and embody this classy woman, this higher self that I saw in my head. And when I was doing some reflecting on like, you know, how did I get to this point where I walk in a room and I command it? You know, when people use words to describe me, they use the word classy. Like, how did I get to this point? And two things became evident for me, became true for me. It might not be true for you, but let me just tell you what I noticed. So the first thing, I started getting the compliment that I was classy when I started my soft life feminine journey. And honestly, it completely changed my life. From the way that I carry myself, to the topics that I talk about, to the way that I look, to the vocabulary that I use, to the way I speak, to the way that I dress, the way I like to take care of myself, even to the content that I consume. When I started my feminine journey, my soft life journey, I started to demand a higher standard of living and well-being for myself. And in turn, I started to demand that people treat me as such. And from that, I feel like a certain amount of classiness started to come out of that. I think not only did I start to like exude a classy woman, but it was internally that I felt classy and I felt like my higher self. There's definitely been a glow about me ever since I started this classy feminine journey about me. The second thing, and I'm gonna be very, very transparent with y'all, when I started to really tap into my femininity, to tap into my softness, to tap into receiving and being taken care of and to be provided for and to nurture and flow, everything that has to do with femininity, it was then that I met my partner, my boyfriend, who is literally in his healthy masculine. You know, everything's about balance. You have your feminine and you have your masculine, right? So being with a healthy masculine man and being in a healthy relationship allowed me to rest in my femininity. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I noticed a stark difference to before I was dating him to now. My style is so much more classy. Like physically, I started to see myself shift to a more classic style. And internally, I kept on that feminine journey and I wanted to be the best that I could for myself and my relationship. I say that to say is because who you choose as a partner is probably one of the most important decisions that you make in your life. And more broadly, the relationships that you have in your life are going to dictate that classy, soft, feminine energy. Energy is contagious at the end of the day. You know, you have to look who's around you. You know, are you around friends that gossip a lot? You know, do you have girlfriends that elevate you, that uplift you, that allow you to rest in that feminine, soft energy, that classy energy? Who is motivating you? Who is allowing you to be that classy woman when you're around them? Today, there are a few things that make me feel like a classy woman. Those things physically are like a cap's wardrobe, high quality dainty jewelry, tailored clothes, having a signature look. I know how to do my makeup. I know what hairstyles and hair colors look good on me. I know what colors look good on me. I know what styles and silhouettes fit my body the best, like that signature look. Also, perfume makes me feel very, very classy. Incorporating heels into everyday outfits makes me feel very classy. Even my space, you know, organizing it and decluttering it, or putting my drinks in very fancy glasses, or, you know, even going to go do work in like a nice neighborhood coffee shop. These are all things that make me feel elevated, that make me feel like my higher self, that makes me feel like a classy woman. So for my girls that want to enter this classy woman era, let me leave you with some of my best tips if you are wanting 2024 to be a classy woman, soft life era for you. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to physically place yourself in abundantly feminine environments. This could look like nature walks. This could look like doing your work at a nice coffee shop in a nice neighborhood. This could look like joining a women's group. This could look like going to Pilates. Not only will you meet amazing women there, but you will feel inherently classy and elevated in places where you're trying to manifest your higher classy self. Second thing is I want you to pick one thing that makes you feel classy and elevated that you're not gonna compromise on. For me, it's my hair. I would rather forego lash extensions because my hair makes me feel put together, adds to my signature look. It makes me feel confident. It makes me feel classy. So I would pick one thing that you would forego everything else for and focus in on that. Do your research. Like for me, I do my research on the best stylists. I do my research on the best bundles. I get myself the best for this one area physically that makes me feel confident and classy. Number 3, hobbies. Classy women are interesting women. You start to attract high value female friendships and you start to put yourself in these classy environments. People are going to ask you, what do you do for fun? Or what are your hobbies? You've got to have an answer. This could look like flower arranging. This could look like golfing. This could look like Pilates. Whatever it may be that is interesting and makes you feel good. The last tip I have for you is tip number 4 is become worldly or learn a new skill. Kind of going back to what I said, there's nothing more interesting than a classy woman who has stuff to talk about outside of work. Whether that be listening to a podcast about news in the art world, or whether that be learning a new language. Whatever it may be, this will really help your classy woman journey. I hope that helps and was super informative. And thank you again, Hailey, for having me. Don't forget to follow me, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, y'all.
We're first going to talk about speaking with class. Stepping into our classy woman era, this is a great way to start because it's us working on how we talk, how we articulate ourselves, and I'm going to kind of get into that right now. So first and foremost, to speak with class, avoid gossip, avoid bragging, avoid name dropping, avoid using curse words and filler words like or like, using certain words that we shouldn't be using all the time. So I am totally guilty of cursing. I blame it on being Italian, I blame it on being from Jersey, and I blame it on being the girl who was cursing since I was a kid and got in trouble for it and then never let it go. But I am at least learning that I don't cuss when I'm out in public and in elegant settings, and I think the less you cuss, the less you're gonna do it. So definitely work on that. Avoid gossiping. Duh, and duh. We are not gossiping as classy women, okay? It is important that not only we don't gossip to our friends and family, but we're not gossiping in public places. People hear that and think, wow, what a trash person. I could see a person who is dressed to the nines, head to toe, and she's gossiping with her little girlfriend next to her, and she's just going on about this woman and that woman. I will automatically think that that person is uncouth. I don't care how good you look. I don't care that you have a Chanel brooch on and that you're wearing, an Hermes Kelly. If you are gossiping, you are trashy to me. And I think that that is just a great way to elevate ourselves. And it's simple, it's easy, and you can work on it every single day. Name dropping. Now, this is a big one. Not only do I not want you to name drop, like different designer brands and things like that you wear all the time, but also, when it pertains to telling stories, it is important that we understand that discretion is important. As adults, as classy women, we don't need to be sharing information of this person and that person using names. It is uncouth and it's rude. That person either shared something with you or you know something about their life, and it's not fair to them that you're using their name in sentences that they are not a part of. And that is just something that I have even worked on, because at times I can find myself not even gossiping. I'm just talking about something and it meant no harm, but then I reflected back later and go, you know what, I probably shouldn't have said that. That person didn't need to know that. That person didn't need to know the intimate details of this person's life. Even though I wasn't gossiping and I maybe was talking them up, it's not necessary. Okay, you don't need to be talking about people using their names and things like that and their personal life details. If it's not your story to tell, it is not your story to tell. And that is just a very classy way of handling things. And if people ask you things like, what's going on with Aisha and her man? This is just a hypothetical. You answer with, I appreciate you asking. Aisha is doing well, but I will not answer that for her. That's her business to share. And that is a classy way of answering a question. Even if the answer is respectful, it is not your question to answer. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? A couple more things I want to note with speaking with class is good articulation. Of course, I talked about that in my Wealthy Women Tips era video. Please go and watch it if you haven't already. Also, being soft, but having a powerful voice. There is nothing classier than a woman that you can hear, you understand well, and she's speaking with such power, but it's still soft, it's still feminine, and there's definitely a way to do it. So figuring out your tone and how you approach certain things, and what's the word called, like code switching. I know that's kind of like a taboo thing, but especially as women, we tend to code switch very often. When we're speaking with our friends, we're not speaking the same way at work and with our colleagues, and that is normal and that is natural. So same goes for speaking more classy and having an elegance to our voice. When we are out in certain places and we are trying to be perceived as someone who holds themselves to a higher standard, making sure that we speak with intention and we have good articulation and we have a good tone and a feminine voice. Okay, let's touch on elegance and charm. I read something that said charm is more valuable than beauty because you can resist beauty, but you can't resist charm. I absolutely loved that, and I feel like I resonate with that so much because yes, I do think I'm beautiful and I do think I'm wonderful, but my charm is really what gets people going. going. I feel like being witty, cute, and fun and flirty and having a good way of balancing it that's not overly any of those things is super great. So definitely making sure that you radiate that. Looking people in their eyes when you are speaking to them, that is very charming. There's nothing worse than somebody who's always looking down or at their phone or doing this or that, and you're not really focusing on the person. When I am being spoken to by either a man or a woman, I will look them in their eyes and occasionally look at their lips if I'm trying to be flirty, and then look back at their eyes and make sure that I'm really focusing on this person. That shows that you are elegant and classy, but also confident. You are holding yourself in a way where you are not insecure looking somebody in their eyes. It doesn't bother you or faze you one bit. Also, something that is charming is smiling often. Hello, is it a dead sport to smile, ladies and gentlemen? I think we can all have a little bit of smile lines more often and showing off our teeth. It's very classy. And also, of course, upgrading your image in ways that shows intention, whether that's your wardrobe, the way you look, and just how you kind of put things together, making sure that you upgrade yourself with time to show that you're more intentional when you put things together. Also, listen more than speaking and be open-minded. There's nothing worse than a judgmental person who isn't well-versed, doesn't know anything, and chooses to be very one-track minded and listens to all perspectives. That doesn't mean you necessarily have to agree with everyone, but allowing people to finish their sentences, their thought, their ideas, and you don't have to co-sign it. You're not becoming their manager, but you can be open-minded and go, you know what, I'll look into that. Thanks for sharing, even if you don't agree. It's a great way to not being confrontational and judgy, but still holding your own boundaries and how you feel about certain things. And if, let's just say, somebody pries and pushes you to speak about a topic that you don't feel is appropriate, you can just simply be like, come on now, I don't talk about politics and religion when I'm out. Same with the question you just asked me. I'm just not going to speak on it. And when you kind of have a witty way of answering a question, people kind of like laugh it off, like, you know what, you're right, let's move on. And there's a way of handling it without being confrontational. Okay, let's talk about a classy appearance for the modern woman. And I kind of touched on this in the intro about how your visual representation is important because it's a huge part of your reputation. But even more specifically, and a hot take is, I really don't love the conversations about what is classy and what isn't, when it's very clear that sometimes what people view as not classy has nothing to do with the outfit or anything in that regard, but it has to do with the person. And this is why it's very important to understand what classy appearance is. So I wrote it down. Polished, sleek looks, clean clothing. If it's a clothing item that needs to be tailored, that is important as well. So form-fitting stuff that looks good on your body, slick hair, or just a hairstyle that looks healthy and clean. Some things about me that weren't classy, and I'm still working on my classy girl era. I'm kind of stepping into it now. I definitely have had classy girl attributes throughout the years, but when it pertained to my appearance and my visual representation, I was doing an awful job. Granted, when I went out, occasionally I would look really good, but definitely I am noticing that I'm getting better at it. And I think it had a lot to do with being comfortable in my own skin and my body image and kind of loving certain parts of my body and understanding how to dress for it. So sometimes it just takes trial and error. But some things that weren't classy about me, I was doing way too much boob that looked sloppy. I have natural breasts. I do not have breasts that, sit super high. Granted, they don't sag. And I was never a bra wearer, which is another thing that I want to discuss in a little bit. But I would always, do too much boob or a saggy boob or just kind of a moment that just didn't look super classy. So I definitely did that a lot. I always had good wigs, but if I'm being honest, the wigs that I had would look good maybe after the first install, but eventually they start to look fakey fake, glued on, and not great. So I have found that what is best suited for my classy girl era is doing natural sleek hairstyles with my real hair. And if I do want extensions, I like to do a quick weave that allows me to have leave out on the top so it doesn't look wiggy. But everyone is different. And if you need to wear a wig, there are definitely classy ways to do it. Rusty jewelry or jewelry that looks cheap and gross. There's nothing worse than like a stacked necklace situation that's rusty and looks like you got it from the grocery store. I feel like you can invest in some really dainty, good quality pieces that are not super expensive, like a dainty watch, some rings, bracelets, earrings that are like, easy but look really classy all the time. I know for me, when I was wearing like that cheap Claire's looking jewelry, I looked crazy and it just never makes an outfit look classy. Chipped nails and dry skin. So moisturized skin will be amazing. If you just make sure that your legs are lotioned and oiled before you go out, or your arms, just to kind of make sure that you look hydrated, healthy, and happy. And chipped nails, of course, which I never really had a chipped nail problem, but I definitely had a long nail, super unclassy, that were just not a good everyday nail. I have learned as I get older that even though I do love color and I hate boring nails, there is a way to do color in a classy way, and you have to figure out what way will make it look good with the clothes that you are wearing in that season. Also, dress classy according to your personality, work life, and body figure. I am super modern and I move with the times. So for me, I can think something looks classy on a person and someone go, that's not classy. But in reality, what they're really saying is that girl is too curvy to be classy. And I just don't think like that. I actually had somebody comment on my video that I made about being like high value and appearance, and somebody had said that maybe some of the people that lived in my building were, you know, viewing me as less than because I wasn't holding myself to a higher standard with outfit. But in reality, just to give context, nobody that lived in that building was dressed to the nines. That's the thing. They might have been wealthy and have had money, but I did not feel like I was underdressed or not dressed according to the style of the place. Now, what I will say is this: people will naturally assume that you are something based off of what maybe your peers' socioeconomic status is, or your race, or where you're from, like your ethnicity, or your age. There's a lot of different stereotypes that people will put on you and force on you based off of these types of things. So for me, I like to just really base it off of what I'm seeing. If a girl is curvy, but she is wearing a pencil skirt, a beautiful turtleneck, and some Christian Louboutins, and she's wearing it well, she looks clean, she looks polished, I do view that as classy, and I think she looks wonderful. I also think that dressing according to your work life is important. My job is social media. I sit in front of a camera and I film videos for you guys. So my version of how I dress in my work life might be different from someone who works in corporate America. My best friend who works a 9 to 5 in corporate would never wear half the outfits I wear today. But understanding that work and how you dress is important. I'm not going to be sitting on camera every video wearing a blazer. It's just not my thing. So definitely that is important, but understanding, you know, there's a time and a place, and there is a dress code to certain things. You don't show up to a fine dining restaurant wearing flip-flops. It's just inappropriate. So definitely understanding work life, where to show up wearing what, and your body type, and dressing according to your personality. I believe that the modern classy woman can still be sexy, can still be chic, and can still be elegant all at once. Kim Kardashian is someone who I view has had very classy moments. Marilyn Monroe has had very classy moments. And there are a lot of women in the space, whether they are big, small, or in between, that can classy themselves up, and it doesn't need to necessarily fit one imagery. Not everything is going to be old money, not everything is going to be church girl, and not everything is going to be modest. But I think what makes somebody classy is the things I listed before. Polished, sleek looks, enhancing makeup that makes your face look beautiful when it pertains to your features, having clean, polished hair, nails, jewelry, shoes, and clean skin that looks, you know, hydrated. Another thing that you can do when you want to avoid being sloppy in the way you dress is undergarments. They make a big difference. Okay, guys, I didn't own bras for years. Why? Don't ask me. I don't understand why. I guess I thought my boobs were fine the way they were, but owning a bra will change your life. Specific bras that are good for specific outfits, also shapewear and different types of seamless underwears and undergarments that give you a good look under a dress or an outfit. If I'm wearing a tight bodycon dress, I'm gonna wear some sort of very like tight, seamless underwear or undergarment that's going to give me a look that's smoothing but also sleek. Also blend your makeup. That is another way to avoid looking sloppy. Having clean hair, of course, groomed toes and nails. You never want to show up with an open toe shoe and you got chipped polish on your toes. And you want to match in some way. A great way to avoid looking sloppy is cord sets or any type of matching separate. If you are struggling to get into fashion, and I totally understand because I am a fashion admirer, but I'm not necessarily a fashion executor. I try my best and I'm working on it. And I know I'm going to get there because I have faith in myself. In the meantime, cords and matching separates will be your best friend. Also, dressing for the season correctly. There's nothing worse than dressing ill for the season. I think, for instance, like wearing a sundress out to dinner in the fall or winter is weird, or like a tight bodycon, what looks like it would be worn at the Jersey Shore during a dinner party in December is also not right. Dressing for the season will definitely help with you avoiding looking sloppy and things being ill-fitted. I understand that going to the tailor can be a pain, but definitely getting your clothes tailored or to fit your body correctly is chef's kiss. Let's talk about dating, because when we're stepping into our classy girl era in our 20s, dating becomes different for us because we are not dating how we used to, which was low vibrational. I want you guys to date people slowly. We are not rushing to the finish line. Definitely take things slow. And I know it can sound annoying, especially if you find this man to be attractive or, he's really into you and he's doing a lot, but slow is better because he's already probably entertaining other women and he's probably already getting his needs met elsewhere anyways. And that's usually the worst case scenario, but it's common. I want you guys to be the girl that stands out in the sense of, I'm classy, I hold myself to a higher standard. In order for me to get there with you, I need to develop an emotional connection. I need to learn about you. And half the time, you might not like who they are once you get to know them. So it's actually a great way to vet someone and to see if they are even suitable for dating. Also, don't sell yourself. You don't need to prove anything to them, and you only need to show up being yourself, being feminine, being soft, and being classy. It is not something that you need to prove. You don't need to tell him your intimate life details, why you deserve X, Y, and Z. If they don't see it, they can't have it. Scarcity and exclusivity are important. Strong boundaries with men are important. You can't call me whenever. I'm busy. You can't ask me on a date last minute. I'm busy. You can't come and go as you please. I'm exclusive. I think it's important that we understand our value and our worthiness and that we are not just available all the time to do things. And I'm just not that girl, so it's just not who I am. I think it's important that we are more exclusive about things like this because it means that we value ourselves. And a great way to say to yourself, not to them, but to yourself that you deserve it is, if I am giving myself this respect, then I want to also get it in return. So that is just how we live. We are aligning ourselves with what we do for ourselves. Period. End of story. Expect and demand respect. That is a gentleman. And by demanding, I mean in our minds. We're not demanding it from them. If they don't understand that they need to respect you, they are bye-byes. Bye, see you never. I think it's important that respect is pretty up there for us. I think a lot of things can be really wonderful, luxuries and this and that, but if he doesn't respect you, doesn't respect himself, it's a no. That is not classy. And high value experiences are important, ladies. I think that we need to understand that we need to create boundaries about what we are willing and what we are not willing to do. No house dates. Under no circumstance are we having a date at the house. I don't care if he has his own house and he wants to show it to you. I'll see that on date number 365. No last minute dates either. We are busy. We're exclusive. We have other plans. We're not just available for last minute dates. They need to give you at least a 48-hour notice. And keep your options open, but keep that to yourself. A classy woman does not share with a man that she has her options open and that she's seeing other people. Not only does it show a level of insecurity that you're trying to make him jealous, but it's not really feminine of you. A feminine woman keeps that to herself. It is not important to share with literally anyone that you're keeping your options open. That is for you to be doing. And if he ever tries to come at you like, oh, well, are you seeing other people? Or, oh, I think you're talking to this guy and that guy. You say, excuse me, but we are not exclusive. But I will not answer questions in regards to other men because I don't find that to be appropriate. Okay, let's talk about emotional maturity when it pertains to being classy in your 20s. You will be met with rudeness. Don't respond. Manage your emotions like a pro by orchestrating scenarios that could happen in your head that you can kind of figure out how you would want to respond to them. Classy women do not fight and they do not argue. Although I am not a fan of criticism, I will take it from those that I trust very well and that I maybe feel like I maybe need to hear from a person that I know cares about me. But I think it's important that we don't rely on others for assurance and that we don't expect other people to always take to us. A lot of the times people are going to want to poke, pry, and bother you when they think that you're classy because they want to see, are you really classy or are you faking it? And the best way to sell, or not even sell, but to actually be is to never crack. You will never be able to penetrate this wall. It is solid, baby. The amount of self-work and the self-love that I have put into this, you can never penetrate, especially a naysayer who you don't care about. I'm not about to make myself look like a fool to go to what? The bottom? With you, it's not happening. And let's talk about high value friendships when you are a classy woman entering your classy woman era in your 20s. Classy, like-minded friends are the absolute best. And the best way to really attract that is to have autonomy and also allow people to have autonomy and independence. If you are clingy, desperate, bothersome, and annoying as a friend, you're not going to attract healthy experiences with women. I think it's important that you allow people to have their own lives, whether they have a boyfriend or not, or, a busy job or not, or they work from home or they work, hours away. You need to give people the space to have their own life. And when you come together, you come time together. Sisterhood is the plan. Small exclusive friendship circles are also the best. You don't need to have a million friends. A lot of people will say to me, Hailey, I only have 1 or 2 friends. That is gold, babe. That is gold. Having 1 to 2 friends is gold. Why do you need 10 friends? That's not, to me, sustainable. I think that, yes, I mean, granted, I have a lot of friends over the span of my life that I still stay in touch with, but I have 3 friends that I speak to religiously. That's really it. So you have to understand that exclusive friend circles come with being a classy woman and people that you can, entrust your life with. Having people in your life that you can trust is big. Okay, half of the time y'all are laying with men that you can't trust. So let alone having 10 girlfriends you can trust, that doesn't sound real. So making sure that you have classy, like-minded friends, whether it's 1 or 2, it is plenty. Befriend women who stand out, who are mavens, who are bosses, and if you are a God-fearing woman, lovers of God or lovers of Christ, women who love elevation and want you to do so. It is really special when you can share something deeper than just appearance and money with friends. You can share spirituality and value systems and philanthropic things. There is something very deep and meaningful about all of my friendships individually. One of my friends shows me what it's like to be in a healthy dynamic. Another one of my friends is very philanthropic. Another one of my friends kind of reminds me of a therapist. Like, everybody that I'm friends with has a very deep meaning and purpose in my life. And I think that really cultivates healthy, like-minded, classy friendships. And also, it's important to befriend women who don't gatekeep and share their tips with you. When I was talking to Jaz the other day and I had DM'd her about making this video, and I was also asking her about TikTok, she was giving me exceptional tips, very written in detail, of how to do certain things for TikTok. That is a good friend, and that is a girl who doesn't gatekeep, okay? You don't want someone who's hee ha ha and not sharing with you, because sharing is caring, and I think that if you are a real friend of mine, you're gonna want me to elevate similarly to you. We are not in competition, baby. We are equals. We are both at the table and trying to get something out of it. And a couple other things that I just wanted to note is be mindful of what you consume. Who we are is who we surround ourselves with, but also who we listen to, who we watch. I think that when you are consuming content or people or idolizing people that are of class, elegance, respect, you're gonna start emulating those qualities yourself. And that is something that I worked on. I used to watch a lot of trash TV. I don't anymore. I only watch things that make me feel good, elevate me, and then I'll watch an occasional fictional, very high intense show. A classy woman always finds a signature scent. Mine changes every year. Right now, mine's the Armani Prive Vert Malachite. I'm obsessed with it. It is definitely my signature scent, but if I were to really go back to the basics, it would probably be Baccarat and Grand Soir by MFK. But find yourself a signature scent. You want to leave your scent behind, whether it's at a restaurant or, a place that you frequent or out on a date or with friends. You want people to know, oh yeah, that's Hailey. She just walked in, because they smell you, and get the matching lotions and the oils. This is super classy and super great, and just a feminine way to take care of yourself. Also, still be free-spirited and fun. No one likes a bore. I can't stand a classy person who just can't crack a smile. She's so boring. Oh, I can't get my hair wet. I can't do this. I can't do that. And it's like, okay, I get it. You're beautiful, but let's just let our hair down a little bit and vibe out. Nobody's asking you to get naked and streak through the streets, but definitely, be a little bit more open-minded and fun. It's cute and it's elegant and it's still very youthful. And also enjoy your own company and level up during this time. You should be able to enjoy solitude as a classy woman and being able to utilize your solitude in a way that actually benefits your life. Something that actually will make you feel good and grow and elevate and change. And view it as a date night. If you have to romanticize it, why not? Embrace who you are, the good, bad, and indifferent. I love a beautiful woman who's a healthy amount of vulnerable. That is my favorite type of classy woman. When I come across a classy woman, whether it's on TikTok or the TV or Instagram or something, and I notice that there's a flaw that they kind of talk about or they'll accentuate from time to time, I live for it. It's giving relatable. There's something so beautiful about relatability. Granted, I understand that we want to be hierarchy and awesome and different, and we are naturally, but there's still something very beautiful about someone who's vulnerable in a way that's still healthy. It's not like you're oversharing or disrespecting your boundaries, but you're just showing hey, I'm still human. But that doesn't mean that I can't be classy and look good. And the last things I want to leave you guys on are the habits to pick up. Carry a book with you everywhere you go. This is super classy. Get some feminine books or different types of classy girl books or self-love and development books. There's a million books. Or you can just have an Audible or a Books app in your phone so you don't have to actually carry a physical copy. Lay out workout clothes the night before. It's a great way to get yourself organized for the next day and holding yourself accountable to getting in the gym. Be organized in a chic way. Find journals and planners that get you excited about actually creating the life of your dreams. Mood boards and daily planners and whatever you need to organize your life in a chic way, do it. Hygiene, 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 duh. If you're not hygienic, you're not classy. Get on your hygiene routine and always improve. You know, there were some things I wasn't doing a few years ago that I'm doing now, and that is the beautiful part about elevation. Also, compliment people and smile. It costs nothing. It costs literally $0 to be a kind person, and complimenting people is a great way to just kind of pay it forward. Quality sleep is important, making sure that you're making yourselves little cocktails before you go to bed, little concoctions that allow you to have a healthy sleep, you know, spritzing your room with lavender and maybe a diffuser here and there, and just kind of getting your meditation in order. Having a quality, healthy sleep is going to keep you classy and elegant because nobody likes a grouch. And stay inspired and a student of life. You never want to be the person who says that you know everything all the time. I can't stand that. I am always learning. You know, last year I might have thought that I was classy, and this year I realized that last year's classy was a joke. And that is the beautiful part about being a student of life. As you grow, you're supposed to grow and elevate. As you get older, you're supposed to elevate. You're supposed to grow. And it is nice when you realize that some things you enjoyed you no longer do, or some things you viewed as appropriate are no longer. That's how you know that you're in a space where you're finally becoming a more well-versed, sound, and knowledgeable individual. And there's nothing wrong with trial and error. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed making it, and thank you so much, Jaz, for being a part of today's video. If you guys haven't already, please go follow her on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. She is absolutely incredible, and I know you guys will love her. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's Hail Miss, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Mwah.